I mean, Biden's remarks were very gracious, and hopefully they will talk. And hopefully in the future, Biden continues as the nominee, the temperature, the tension, the tone of their interaction will be less difficult and less contentious. And I think that would be good. And it's unfortunate that it comes out of a tragic thing like this. I mean, remember, someone was killed, and apparently Secret Service's 2 people were critically injured. So, anyway, no matter how you look at it, even Trump is fine, hopefully, God willing, but you have casualties here. So this is just a heartbreaking, horrible tragedy that transcends politics. It's really not about politics. It's about our country, about our future, and also the world. This is the United States of America. And, things that happen here have reverberations for the entire world. So, all political leaders today around the world are watching this, and they're logically concerned about this level of violence.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, Mr. Merowitz, we were talking about the Republican National Convention, and we just have news coming in that the officials have said that the Republican National Convention will open on Monday as scheduled. They say that the shooting at Trump's rally will not alter any plans to formally nominate the former president as the official Republican nominee in Milwaukee. But coming to another aspect, you did speak of the security apparatus there, but this possibly raises a huge question on how a weapon or a firearm was allowed to a rally with such high security. We have reports that the shooter was outside the Trump rally venue and was at an elevated position when the assassination attempt took place. Talk to us more on the security apparatus that the Secret Service provides to a former U.S. president.
Well, to your point first about the Republican convention, I mean, certainly what could occur is nominate President Trump, and, maybe he appears to the convention on Skype or Zoom and doesn't come to the convention. If he's, not well enough to do that, he's been shot. I mean, this is, not something you jump up. He looked pretty shaken, and he looked it was very, very worrisome. You don't know the nature of the injury. So they'll go ahead and nominate President Trump. Hopefully he'll be fine, and we'll go forward on that. As far as the venue, yes, it is absolutely inexplicable how someone could be wandering around in an elevated area outside a rally with the Secret Service and all the security present. And apparently people saw this person hanging around. And I think there's a failure here, and this needs to be looked into. And the Secret Service indicated in their announcement that they are now working with the FBI to figure out what's going on. But, I think the era of these open rallies are either going to be drastically changed or curtailed, but they're certainly not going to allow this to be repeated. I mean, how is that possible? They have security in the venue, as you said, and carefully screening everybody coming in the venue, but then somebody standing outside the venue. I mean, this is not rocket science. I'm no security expert, but something was a failure here. And I think we need to know what happened and how it was a failure. Not just that the president was hurt, but also someone was killed and people were critically injured. And certainly the entire equanimity of our American system is all shaken up right now. So, this is very, very problematic. We just, as I said before, we can't have a repeat of this. I mean, the other point that's related to is the whole question that's a big question about gun control and gun regulation. So they're going to I'm sure, going to know a little bit more about, a lot more, I hope, about who this assassin is and who was this person. And as you said, it was self-inflicted, or the Secret Service or police took him out. And we're going to find out so much more about it. But the whole question is open in terms of gun control and the Second Amendment. And certainly Trump has been a great advocate of the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms. So there's a lot of issues floating around here. But to me, the main issue, number one issue, is Trump's being able to recover completely from this, and that he's not hurt, and that he'll be okay. That's, to me, the number one issue right now. As far as the political system is concerned, I mean, that we're going to have to figure that out. But a lot of the pieces of our system have kind of been broken into pieces here, and we got to figure out how to put them together again.
Right, Mr. Merowitz, like we were talking about the shooting there, there's also been heavy police presence around the building next to the rally venue. And one rally attendee was dead and two are critically injured right now. But it also comes down and bottles down to one question, who takes the onus of this attack on a former US president at a campaign rally? And in your assessment, will you call this a security and intelligence lapse? Or perhaps who should take the onus? Because we did see that the security service jumped into action when they heard the popping sounds, after which Trump's upper part of the ear started bleeding. But the million-dollar question is that who takes the onus of such a lapse?
Well, I mean, who knows? I mean, this happened at 6 o'clock in Pennsylvania in the United States, and now we're around 9:45. I mean, there's no way to know the answer to that question. However, we did see the Secret Service jump into action very quickly, and certainly President Trump's Truth Social tweeted that they're thankful, and so his family thanked law enforcement, and they were right there on the spot, immediately going to protect Trump, and they did their job. How the bigger picture fell apart, and we had one dead and two critically injured, how that happened is just, it's a breathtaking, earth-shaking issue of the biggest proportions to try to understand. You say about the onus, I don't know about onus. I think that the answer is we just need to get to the extent we can to the bottom of what happened here and how was it that someone was able to be standing on an elevated area. It's completely perplexing, and there's going to be a lot more coming out on it. But right now, we really don't know. And I don't think it's a question of blame. It's a question of trying to figure out how to do better the next time. Because clearly our security forces and intelligence forces, as you described, are 1,000% committed to protecting presidential candidates and presidents and other dignitaries. That's not the issue. The issue is what specifically in the details here, what do we need to do better, more importantly in the future, in order to prevent this from happening again? And I leave it to the investigation and all that in the FBI. They're very thorough to figure that out, what the lapses were here. But I think we need, and I think this would apply, and certainly, as I say, leaders around the world are seeing this, and this is a wake-up call for leadership entire world. If a presidential candidate in the United States goes to a rally and there could be an attempted assassination in 2024, I mean, it's an earthquake. I mean, it's an earthquake. It's incredible.